Hello guys, and I want to start this video with an official confession. Yes, good Russians exist, but all of them fight for Ukraine as a part of the International Legion. Today I am talking about Freedom of Russia Legion, Russian Volunteer Corps and Siberian Battalion. Yes, there are more of them and the movement is growing stronger. And they've beautifully reminded about themselves recently when crossed the border of Kursk and Belgorod regions, sending beautiful message to Putin before his fake elections. And most importantly, all of these Russian units consisting of Russian citizens have political and military aims. Let me tell you more about this small but promising movement inside Russian Federation. My name is Anna, and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda, fake news, and hopefully together we will see the dissolution of Federation. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. I have to start with personal memories. When I've just started vlogging, I remember some Russians coming into comments. They seemed like normal people who were terrified with Putin's invasion, as they called it, when in reality it is a Russian invasion as millions support him. But I mean these people who seemed adequate, they left comments like, after you liberate Ukraine, you will come and liberate Russia. No, no, no. This is fully Russian responsibility and task. And I'm really glad that, though not many, but there are people who want to liberate Russia from Putin, evil imperial attitudes, and potentially proclaim some independent states on the territory of modern federation. So I'm talking about this movement of Russian volunteers who are Russian citizens but who have joined Ukrainian armed forces as the part of the International Legion. Yes, we have a beautiful, big International Legion that consists of military volunteers coming from different corners of the world, and we are very grateful to all of these people. But inside this International Legion, we have Freedom of Russia, Russian Volunteer Corps and Siberian Battalion, which is pretty new and once again demonstrates that the movement is growing. Recently, they have crossed the border of Belgorod and Kursk regions literally without any problems, which signals Russian border is not protected. They are ready to attack, but they are totally incapable of defending themselves. When we target their oil refineries, when we destroy their military factories, their aircraft, they demonstrate it very vividly. Russia is a bully, Russia is vulnerable, and if only we had the support we are asking for, a very real support from our allies, we could finish this evil regime in months. I promise you that. Hopefully one day soon we will get what we need and we will demonstrate you special military operation on Russian territory with Russian citizens involved, because all of these volunteers who fight for the freedom of Russia, they are Russian citizens, and they have all the rights to demand the change of the political regime and to change the military attitudes, stopping war in Ukraine and focusing on internal Russian problems. There are many. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new, to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and potentially to witness together the dissolution of Russian Federation. By the way, we have a really good video on that. That is very real and that is not that dangerous as people back in the times of Cold War thought. So anyway, in 2023, we witnessed a number of successful raids of Legion of Russia, Russian Volunteer Corps to border Russian regions, once again demonstrating the vulnerability of Russian border. These are not big units of people. I know, I'm aware of that. This is just the beginning, but I hope there will be more and more Russians who will join the fight against this evil inside Russia. There is much work to do, but Russians are responsible for their own future. Anyway, now in 2024 they have returned and they've taken under control a number of Russian villages like Tetkino, that is a very ugly name by the way, and it seems to me Lozova Rudka, which sounds quite Ukrainian. And actually it is really close, it's like a part of the Sumy region that is often targeted by Russian invaders. Sumy suffers daily, and maybe like we should take this part and neutralize it. What is also important, and the volunteers of this Russian freedom movements, they record lots of videos where they address Russian citizens, is that they also want to destroy Russian military infrastructure in Kursk, Belgorod and other regions that are now used by Russian army as platforms for attacks. They target us with missiles from these territories. They use them for bombers, aircrafts, descending, ascending. They keep supplies there. So actually this Freedom of Russia Legion volunteers, they want to inspire Russian people who live in these regions, who already suffer from bad work of Russian air defense, whose cities, villages are used as Russian military bases. They want to inspire these people to act, react, and thus protect their territories and hopefully start some protests. What is also quite important, that Putin finally reacted to this crossing of the border. He called these Russian citizens international agents. You know, they have enemies everywhere. But this is a precedent because it is for the first time that he actually acknowledges they exist, that it was possible to cross the Russian border. And of course, he's afraid they will ruin the democratic, legitimate elections that will take place this weekend. They are totally fake, and these Russian rebels, Russian partisans who've managed to cross the border and return to their motherland actually visited a couple of voting points in Belgorod and Kursk region and destroyed these papers that are used for voting, which is another perhaps very metaphorical message to Putin, time to go to The Hague. Yeah, I always want to substitute The Hague onto hang, you know, like a verb, which actually expresses more what I wish for Putin. Anyway, this is more of the informational special military operation in which Russian citizens send message to other Russian citizens that Navalny was killed, the only real opposition, no real elections in Russia. Unfortunately, millions still support Putin, and I've read an article which states that even if Putin did not fake this election, more than 60% would have supported him. But there are many with whom it is possible to work, to persuade them, to cure them, to de-zombify them. And I think that Siberian Battalion, Freedom of Russia Legion, and Russian volunteers actually target this audience with their messages. There are people who are against Putin and against this war. We can unite and we can try and stop it. Actually, it is a responsibility of Russians. Now Putin government, fake criminal government are very much afraid of the another raid that may happen sometime soon before the elections. And Putin is a coward, believe me. And if there were more and more people to join these Legions of Freedom for Russia, it might be a good sign. They are different. I mean, people who join these legions and corps, some of them want big Russia. Others believe in its future dissolution, like Siberian Battalion. But all of them want a change of regime, and this definitely unites us with them. I'm very grateful to all the people who fight together with Ukraine against this evil, against these crimes, against this authoritarianism. United we stand and united we win. Thank you for buying me coffees and becoming my patrons. It's an honor and blessing to have you in my life. Remember to subscribe to my Instagram, X, Threads, Also, we have a beautiful Discord community. And also we have a beautiful merch shop with lots of items that work well as conversation starters. And please persuade those who doubt, remind those who forget. We need your support, and together we can return this world back to normality, but of course when Putin is hanging in The Hague. Slava Ukraini!